And we're back on the Junior Freshmen Sports Program, and next we're going to be talking about Jay Cutler and the injury that he sustained in the NFC Championship game.
I had strong thoughts on my show, to say the least. When really the whole injury thing really isn't a problem. Just to go over it quickly, Cutler gets hurt at some point in the second quarter, comes back in the third quarter, tries to go again, isn't able to do it. I saw him limp off the field. And when I saw him limp off the field, I thought two things. One, all right, 3 and out, now the Packers need to go back down the field and score again. And the second thing I thought was that dude looks hurt. So, since I thought he looked hurt, and everybody else apparently didn't think he was hurt, and thought he was just coming out for the sake of coming out, I kind of had the feeling it was hurt, and it was serious. It was a sprained MCL or a torn MCL. Like, I've heard torn in some places, and I've heard sprained in other places. So it's a knee injury. Let's put it that way. So I'm not willing to blame. I'm not going to blame football players for coming out of the game because they're pretty tough to begin with, and they know when they need to come out. And then there was the fans burning Cutler jerseys, and that just pissed me off. Just fans who don't know what the hell they're doing in the first place, just taking it out on players because their team lost, and I guess they have nothing better to do. And then, did you see in the Sun-Times they were apologizing for what they said and shit? They had a whole section of fans tweeting apologies to the Sun-Times for Jay Cutler, and I think it all just went way too far. And if they had all just said, you know what, he's hurt, it's okay, the backup quarterback's got to go in and make some plays, which they didn't, turned out to be the third quarterback that was making the plays. Well, Todd Collins is a joke.
Can't say Todd Collins didn't make an attempt, right? I mean,
yeah.
I thought he could do it. I believed in Todd Collins.
It's okay, Tim.
But, okay.
Well, at least some Bears want Caleb Haney the starter next year as a result of all this.
Which is why they're crazy. Fans overreact, and they go nuts, and they're stupid to begin with, and now they just act stupid for no reason. Like, why can't you just give Cutler... If you had just given Cutler the benefit of the doubt in the first place, none of this would have happened. And I'll open it up to the analysts now. Corey Bender, Willy McGinty. Whoever wants to start can go ahead. Just your thoughts on the whole Jay Cutler thing.
Well, my initial reaction to his injury...
That's Willy, by the way.
Yeah, hello. He seemed like he came in for one series to start the second half, and he threw off his back foot, and I think it was intended for Devin Hester, and it was a terrible pass. And at that point, he was playing terrible, so I'm just like, come out. Just do everyone a favor. I mean, he was playing...
You could tell he was hurt.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because a lot of people couldn't. I'm glad you could see that.
Yeah. I mean, he throws off his back foot anyway, but that pass is so porous that I was like, well...
Time for Todd Collins.
Time for Todd Collins. But the whole fan reaction to me is just ridiculous. It's just like, I think it's his demeanor, but he's always like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do?
Right.
I don't think it really says a lot about his character or anything.
No, me neither. All right, Corey, I'll let you in now.
All right. Well, first of all, I did not see Jay Cutler limp off the field, I believe, but once I saw him on the bench, I was wondering, okay, he's probably hurt. I don't know what it is, but we'll get information later. But when I found out it was a sprained MCL, I'm thinking that's a knee injury, so it must have hurt like a bitch.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that he didn't go back in. Some people are probably saying that's the biggest game of his life. You could get the ticket to go to the Super Bowl. That's true and all. And some guys have that demeanor. Well, they'll just play through it. But you know what? It's not Jay Cutler, and you can't blame him for it. If it hurts enough and he can't go out and perform at his best, put Todd Collins in, which didn't work out, but they found Caleb Haney did a good job. The fan reaction pissed me off, too, because they overreacted way too much. You don't burn your franchise quarterback's jersey when he took you to the NFC Championship game. Give me a break.
It's unbelievable.
I don't understand it at all. Now they're saying that they want Haney to be the starter. You can't judge a guy. It's like going back to Kevin Kolb week 1 this year. He gets hurt, they put Michael Vick in, and what do you know? They got very fortunate. You can't judge a guy on a whole quarter or whatever of a game.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
stupid.
Now, I want to open this up to something else as well. Do you think there's a chance that Jay Cutler having diabetes has anything to do with his demeanor? Like being really up or being really down, depending on his blood sugar level
maybe,
or
I
his
don't
drugs?
know.
Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Because he has type 1 diabetes, and you use a drug, I believe, called insulin, which really, one of the side effects is mood swings. And having mood swings over a 3-hour span really isn't too shocking. So that might be why sometimes he looks all energetic and, looks like the Jay Cutler before diabetes, the Jay Cutler in Denver. And now, he kind of doesn't. It's really not it's really his demeanor. I think his demeanor is related to the diabetes. But
there's a video I found of him on the sideline that it actually
I'm
legitimately
tired.
looked like
I
he was
saw
saying,
that.
"I'm tired."
That was funny.
So I was just like, well, I don't know.
I'm just saying it could play into that. Like, diseases play into stuff. I think it's something that nobody really looked at, but regardless, this whole thing is very weird, and the fan reaction was dumb.
Well, yeah. Well, with the Caleb Haney thing, Chicago's a bandwagon city. They like to go to the successful guys, the successful teams, and maybe a reason they were burning the Jay Cutler jerseys. They're stocking up on Caleb Haney jerseys next year. Going to start a fan club.
Unbelievable.
We're gonna judge a guy on 1 quarter of play. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, where do you put Cutler right now in the, not even upper echelon, the echelon of quarterbacks? Where is he as opposed to everybody else in the league, considering this most recent performance and how he's played in Chicago and how he played in Denver? Anybody, please God, someone speak.
Well, he's a grab bag guy. You never know what you're gonna get out of him. Sometimes he's good, as you say, like he looked like in Denver, and then other times just like, oh, well, there's another interception.
Because he's not Brady, Manning, Breeze, Roethlisberger, or Rodgers. He's not in that category. He's not even close to that category. He's not. Would you put him in the next category? Like where even is the next category? Phillip Rivers, Michael Vick.
Maybe the lower tier of that.
Even less than that.
Think about it. Jay Cutler doesn't have many receivers to throw to. I mean, sure, Devin Hester's fast and all, but...
So let's give you this. Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Okay, I want everybody to do 2 things. Number 1, take me seriously, and number 2, this one's for you, Corey. When I say Tony Romo, don't bitch. Because he hates Tony Romo more than he hates everything else combined. Okay,
maybe.
Number 1, is he better than Eli Manning? Is Cutler better than Eli?
No.
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 Yes.
Yes?
Eli Manning threw like 30 interceptions this year.
That's true.
True.
And he's dope as well.
Okay.
He puts the ing in Manning.
Tom Brady. No, I'm just kidding. Brady's obviously on a whole nother level. He's on a Hall of Fame level, and Cutler's not even close. What about his counterpart in Detroit, Matthew Stafford? Stafford's only played like 6 games.
Yeah, I'd have to say Cutler, but it's not really fair to say.
Cutler's better just because he's
Stafford's
been
got
on the
some
field.
injuries. And, I don't know.
When Stafford is healthy, I believe he's the best young player under 25. Yep. And I don't even know if he's still under 25, but he was the last time I checked. And I think he's the best player under 25 right now. Mm-hmm. That's better than Bradford. That's better than any of the other young guys you can think of. Yeah. So that's all. Whatever that's worth. He's not better than Aaron. Is he better than whoever Minnesota puts out, staying in the division?
Definitely.
Yeah. So either T-Jack, my man T-Jack, Tavares Jackson, or Cam Newton. I think the Vikings should draft Cam Newton. We can get to this when it gets a little closer to the draft. I'm sure we'll have a draft preview special at some point. Mm-hmm. But Cam Newton's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you imagine, just for a second, put Cam Newton on the Vikings? How awesome would that be? Because you think about what he had at Auburn, he had a great running back, and he had 2 great receivers. And in Minnesota, he'd have a great running back in Adrian Peterson and great receivers with Sidney Rice, Percy Harvin, Vicente Shanko, the tight end. That would be it would be awesome. It would be the NFL level, and you wouldn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But if it was able to gel, it'd be cool. Okay, staying on Jay Cutler, is he better than Tony Romo? You don't.
I don't know.
You're out of this question. What about you?
No.
No, not better than Romo. I don't think so either. You?
No.
Okay. Who else can I come with? David Garrard in Jacksonville. We said this on the NFL preview show, you and I, last year. David Garrard is the definition of the average NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Is Cutler better than average? Meaning top 15 in the league.
Yeah, he's better than average.
Yeah.
Better than Garrard?
Yes, better.
Okay, is he better than Troy Smith?
Ooh, Smith, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is Cutler better than Hasselbeck? Matthew, not Tim. Tim is an ESPN.
Yeah.
Yes, better than Matt Hasselbeck. Who else? Who can I come up with? Matt Schaub. We kind of leave out Matt Schaub when we talk about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Not a very mentionable guy.
Is he better than Schaub?
Yes.
Yes?
I'm gonna go with yeah.
Yeah, he's better than Schaub. I don't think he's better than Schaub, because Schaub throws for like 4,500 yards
Well, he
at
has
the
better,
drop of a hat.
He has
He has
Andre
better
Johnson,
receivers.
though.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson and Andre Davis, the very underrated Andre Davis,
Right.
the other Andre. I think if the Texans ever got good and the receiving corps needed a nickname in Houston, you got to call them the Andres.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson and Andre Davis, because Andre Davis is a beast. He's like Wes Welker, only black. And he's fast.
Yeah.
And he's fast. He's unbelievably fast. And it's only me that would know that. He's got a great running game there in Arian Foster. If the defense would be better, the Texans would be in the playoffs. But the defense isn't going to get better, and they're not going to be in the playoffs. Anyway, who else could Cutler be? Who could be Cutler better than Vince Young, who's going to be out of Tennessee soon? Is he better than Vince Young?
Yes.
Instantly better than Vince Young.
Yes.
Yes.
What about
And-
Matt Castle?
Ooh, I like that one. I'd say they're like even. They're like dead
Yeah.
even. They're the exact
that's
same
probably
quarterback,
what I'll go
except
with,
Cutler throws a
yeah.
few more interceptions.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Okay, Flacco.
Nah, Flacco's
No.
better.
Flacco's better. I'm not even gonna, I think Matt Ryan's on a whole nother area
Yeah.
than Flacco. I think Matt Ryan at this point is way better than Joe Flacco. They used to be even when they came into the league, but I think Matt Ryan's turned out to be better. Is he better than, this one's interesting, Mark Sanchez?
No.
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 No?
No.
Sanchez is like, he throws for like 3,300 yards a year. Throws, I don't know what his numbers are, but they're not that good. It's only his second year in the league.
Well, he's still developing.
I think he's going to take the next step next year. I think he's going to be going up towards the maybe not the upper echelon, but he's going up towards Joe Flacco, Tony Romo territory in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. I think I've named almost everybody. Not Peyton Manning, obviously.
Definitely not.
I'm out of people. But so, where does that put Cutler?
It's somewhere in the middle.
Here, give me a piece of paper. If I go through the quarterbacks quickly. Brady 1, Manning 2, Breeze 3. By the way, Roethlisberger will be 3 in my opinion. He'll be better than Drew Brees if he wins a third Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The resume will be better, 3 rings to 1. Roethlisberger, I'm going to put Rodgers 5, Rivers 6, Romo 7. No, Vic 7. Romo 8. I used to put Donovan McNabb 9.
Well,
I'll put
We didn't discuss him though.
I'll put Matt Ryan 9.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna bench him
And
for Ryan Roberts.
Matt Ryan 9.
yeah.
Who else could be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now? We're almost out of time, but I like doing this anyway. I'm not gonna put.
Would you have to
Cutler
put
there.
Cutler 10?
No.
No, definitely.
Oh,
not.
how about Flacco or Ryan? Do we ever have
I just
Matt
said Matt
Ryan.
Ryan was way better than Joe Flacco, but yet I'm gonna put them right next to each other on the list. Fuck it, Joe Flacco. Okay, I don't want to put Cutler 11. I don't think he's that good.
Donovan McNabb.
McNabb sucks.
No.
McNabb is over the hill. He's old. He's done. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a backup next year.
D-Mac.
Watch,
D-Mac.
mark my word. D-Mac is going to be a backup next year.
Wow.
Write that
man.
down. Write that shit down. Okay.
Damn.
I have to go 11. I don't know.
Cutler 11. That's too high.
You'd think he'd be like maybe.
Schaub 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Schaub puts up great numbers. His defenses are terrible. He's got a good running game. He's got the best receiver in the game right now, and Andre Johnson. You want to put him? No, I'll put Manning ahead of him. I'll put Eli ahead of him.
What about Matt Castle?
Eli Manning has a ring.
Yeah.
Matt Castle I'll put ahead of him. MC, and then I'll put Cutler.
So that's 14.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Cutler is the 14th best quarterback in football based on the JMFPSP rankings. I think some of our preseason stuff we should like rank positions.
Oh, sure.
The starting positions, starting position areas, except offensive lines. Well, actually, you said you know a lot about offensive lines. I remember.
No,
I remember
didn't
when
say
we did
I-
the. Well, no. Let me do this. When we did the preview, you said I have always been a big believer in the offensive line, and I think the Bears' offensive line is going to have to play well to win. So you think you know a lot about offensive lines?
I
We'll
didn't-
put that to the test in July and August.
I never made that claim. I
Yes,
said
you
I
did.
put a lot of focus
I will-
on the offensive
I will
line.
go look up the audio in the break.
Okay, you do that.
Okay, I will.
You won't find that.
And we'll be back.
video.
Okay.
Well, if you disagree with our rankings, email us.
Yeah,
Or
BWC Internet Radio at live.com. First person to send me an email that I don't know, I will mention their name in every segment for the rest of the year. Up next, we'll do the NFL collective bargaining stuff. There's a lot there, Tim, that I want to go through with. Is it just Cory for the next one?
Yeah.
It's just Cory. Staying with us. It is JMFPSP on BWC Internet Radio.